Welcome to the podcast with your favorite cash flow guys, Mike and Blaine. Giving you the best advice while having a beer. When you're running a business, there are problems every day. Let Mike and Blaine help you out and guide your way. Cheers to the good times with Mike and Blaine for business, beer, and BS.
Hey, it's episode 135 of Mike and Blaine. I am Mike Milan, also known as Cashflow Mike. That is my friend, my partner, my confidant, Blaine Birch, the CEO and founder of Dry Run. What's up, my man?
Oh, man. We were both running like today. I was, just sprinting through the day. And I think we both raced in about 1 minute to start time today. So it's been crazy.
Well, all right. So let's give them some background, right? Because this is not Thursday, right? Because I missed it. Oh. I missed Thursday. It was me.
Yeah.
So this is Tuesday. We're going to do 2 episodes in a week. So it's not our typical day. So me, like a dum-dum, I actually filled my day. I went from 4 or 5 things in a row. Boom, 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 boom. And a bigger dum-dum. Can I tell you what I did last night?
Yeah, I want to hear. All
right. So Courtney's out of town. And so most guys probably do whatever they do when their wife's out of town. Me, I played video games. So I'm sitting there, I'm playing this game, and I don't play people, right? I don't play like other people. I don't play online against, I wouldn't play you. I wouldn't play anything because I'm going to say 10 years ago, I played Madden football, right? Online. And I'm like, I could beat the computer every once in a while. I might be pretty good. No, I'm terrible against another person. Right? I'm like the absolute worst. I'm sitting there playing this, I'm going to say 10-year-old, maybe 12-year-old. And he was cussing me upside down one way and the other, like going, fuck you, old man. I'm stomping all over you. I mean, he's just cussing me, just crazy, and I'm like going, oh my God, I'm getting cussed out by a little kid. And everything in me wanted to just cuss back, right? Like going, you little son of a bitch, where do you live? All I could think of, I didn't cuss a kid out. I want to let everybody know that right now. I did not cuss a kid out. But what I did do was even dumber. I told the kid, I'm like going, put your mom on the phone. Let me talk to her. Oh, you want to talk about somebody showing their age? You get online gaming and tell somebody to put their mom on their phone, and all of a sudden, this guy's just jumping all over me. He is the Michael Jordan of shit talking guys on he made me quit. He made me quit playing online games with other people because he cussed me out so bad. So anyway, now I just play by myself like a loser, I guess. But anyway, I looked up and it was 4:00 in the morning. I'm like, oh shit, I better go to bed. It's like you get into a time warp or something. I forgot that's how video games are. It's just like going, oh my shit, there's 5 hours went by and I'm sitting there still playing and I'm tired. I'm barely keeping my eyes open. But
oh man,
for whatever reason, I didn't quit. Is that crazy?
I wouldn't survive. I'd be like, I got to get up in an hour. That's brutal.
I thought, I'm like going, maybe I should just run it through. Maybe just go on through, right? Just like the old days. I probably wouldn't be doing this right now if I had done that.
No, man, I couldn't do that anymore. I can barely do 11 o'clock and be be done.
All right, so a little bit about this episode, right? It's weird right off the bat. It's like, I didn't plan for it because I forgot that we were doing this. Didn't plan for it. So what you see in the description is just that. It's me not planning for it. I wrote that minutes before this. I'm talking about that. Usually I'm 10 minutes before. No. And because it was minutes before, I didn't have a topic. I'm like going, oh, that's the topic. Procrastinating and not staying on top of stuff and then trying to be creative and make shit happen right at the last minute.
Yeah. Which is a good topic because today it was getting into the podcast and getting it going, but you and I were both sprinting through the entire day because I was the same thing. We don't do Tuesdays And I looked and I'm like, oh man, I got like 5 meetings scattered, like pretty much back to backs all the way up to recording time. So this happens in business. Now it could have been, we had could have had another meeting after this, could have been anything, but man, this stuff catches up so fast. So procrastinating is pretty dangerous when you're in business.
Oh, absolutely. So also I'm playing with these darn headphones. If you listen to any of our shorts, apparently, I mean, Blaine, you just told me we've got like 30,000 views on these things now.
In like just the last little while too, it's hilarious. I looked like, holy cow, that's a good number. So I haven't, so we were getting a lot of views on our shorts, and then you were the one that pointed out, I'm like, you said there's an echo. And then he tried to blame me. It's like, because it's my voice echoing. I'm like, yeah, because it's coming out of your mic or your speaker. So Mike's not happy because I made him wear headphones today. So,
well, you know what it is. I don't wear headphones hardly at all ever. Even I bought them for whatever reason, but I never use them. Yeah. I think there's the smaller thing, the little rubber things. I've got really teeny tiny ears, right? So I've got tiny ears. And these things just kind of slide out, right? They don't fit in there and stay there. So I'm like, no, that's why I don't wear them, because they're uncomfortable. I think I need a smaller pair.
They have adjustable ones. You can even order like different sets on Amazon, and actually I think have more sizing variation, if I remember right. If you go into Amazon, just order some little rubber tips. So,
well, these are the AirPod Pros ordered, the Apple ones, and they came with different little rubber connectors. Mm-hmm. And I left it on the medium. I probably need the small.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
It's the only thing. It's the only thing on me that's small is these ears.
Well, and are you sure it's the inner ear that's small? Maybe it's small ears with a big inner ear part.
Oh, maybe so. Maybe so. I know they're sliding around, so I'm going to be playing with this thing for the next hour, right? Just trying to keep it in there. Hey, you said we've been running. You know who ran? Larry Weinstein ran back to be beer sponsor.
Yes.
He ran back.
Exciting.
Right?
That is awesome, Larry.
Larry's
till late summer. Like, that's awesome. So cool.
He put so much money in there. It's like, this is going to be the Larry Weinstein show, and we're going to put him in the title credit or something like that. There's so much money he put in.
Yeah, it's awesome. We're going to start we're going to have to start listing like the credits, our beer sponsors. So, but there's always room for more, everybody. We are always on the lookout for a beer sponsor, because we can do multiple ones, and we can, and if you want to sponsor later in the show, let us know as well. But what are you drinking? Because it's, we got to dive in.
This is classic procrastination. So 2 days ago, though, Neighbor Pat back on the sponsorship tour here. Ooh. All right, so that's what I'm saying. People are flooding back in. Neighbor Pat's back in.
Nice.
He's like cleaning his garage, and underneath a mothball or something like that, underneath something, he finds this growler of beer. He finds it in there, right? It wasn't even cold. It was just like in a shelf somewhere. I know. Okay. I see your face. So this is going to be like a mystery, because he doesn't know what flavor it is. And it has floaties and all kinds of other shit in it. It has residue on the bottom. Look at that.
Well, does that have to stay cold, or like, Courtney's not there to take you to the hospital?
Yeah. Well, you got Larry and Pat's number, so you might have to call them. And there's floaties around the top of it. So that's how much I procrastinated. I got some Mike Blaine beer in there, but I'm thinking I got to go with a little bit of Neighbor Pat. I'll taste it. And if I have to, I'll go get another one, but
Pat, are you trying to take Mike out so that you don't have to? He's not as good at the cornhole. I guess I'm a little worried about that.
Oh, we're playing tonight too, because Courtney's out of town.
Tuesday night cornhole.
I can't get the lid off. It was molded on there by like summer heat or something. Oh.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, I'll dive in. So
yeah.
All right. Other beer sponsor, Baltimore Mike, who sent beer over to Texas Mike, and also brought me some a few weeks ago. And I'm grabbing one out of the fridge that he brought called Flash of Diamonds IPA from Dewey Beer in Milton, Delaware. So, and it's delicious. By the way, this is great, Mike. This is delicious beer. So thank you so much again. This is, my fridge is almost, it's getting pretty empty now because I know we're leaving soon, and I've been partaking of some of those beers you brought, Mike. So it's been just awesome. So we got Larry, we got neighbor Pat, we got Baltimore Mike, and
Rachel Barnett, right, of Gentle Frog. We've got Rachel Barnett. If you want to know QuickBooks, contact Rachel over at Gentle Frog. Let her know Mike Blaine sent you. She will hook you up with some QuickBooks knowledge for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so this is that spiced one. Didn't he have like a gingerbread or wasn't there some type of Christmas spice or something like that? I haven't tasted it yet, but oh, dude, if you could see the floaties on this thing, it looks like it's pond water. This cannot be good. This cannot be good. So
some flavor from some garage flavor in there. So see what you got going there.
It's a little flat, Pat.
Uh-oh.
It's a little flat. It's a little flat. A little flat.
Been sitting in there for a while. Yeah.
Taste isn't, it said like a gingerbread. It tastes like a gingerbread cookie. Okay. I wonder if he made a gingerbread. That's what it tastes like. Okay.
Well, hopefully that wasn't like a crystal clear lager before you got it.
Yeah. But I don't know. Isn't there some beers that have floaties in them? There's a few of them that have the least yeast and stuff in it.
There's some that do, and there's some floaties you don't want to drink, but there's some that are fine. And so, yeah, hopefully, I'm sure those are the fine kind. Hopefully, so.
Well, we'll know. You'll know on Thursday if I make it to the podcast. Right?
Yeah, you might want to change the old whatever you got.
All right, so we spent a lot of time on everything, but hey, make sure you go to MikeandBlaine.com, buy our merch. You know, I even think my Clear the Noise shirt is on there. Now,
nice.
So, I mean, yeah, I think that might be on there. But you got buy our merch, sponsor the show, leave us a message. Any of that stuff is fine.
Yeah, or you can leave them. You can comment on our videos on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. You can connect with Mike and I on LinkedIn. That's how you can get hold of us real easy. Leave a message on our Facebook page. We love to hear from you guys, and we love seeing more people. And make sure you subscribe. We're getting more subscribers on YouTube, more subscribers on like all of the different podcast networks. So it's really cool to see. We're really excited about that. So, come check us out, mikeandblaine.com, and make sure you catch every episode. But I guess we got to dive into the show. It feels like we're at the end of the show already.
I feel like you're procrastinating.
Avoiding getting into the show.
Yeah. Remember we were going to do an April Fool's special event, like where we weren't going to talk any business at all. We were just going to build bullshit the whole time.
BS the whole time and never get to the topic. We might do that today. And it is. Oh, it's one day off of April Fool's. It was one day off.
Yeah, it was yesterday. But that was like, wouldn't it be great to trick our 5 listeners into thinking they're going to learn something?
Yeah, exactly. So, man.
All right, so let's talk about this. Like, here's what happened to me today, right? I mean, I got up. I had a meeting with a marketing company that's kind of doing some Facebook advertising for me right now. Then I had to go right from there to the university to teach today. I even had high school kids come in as they're testing out the university. So that was kind of interesting. So I had like a new audience members, right? Like you're almost trying to recruit them at that point in time.
Yeah.
Then you've got then I went right to my group coaching because I do that once a day. And then I did a CPA Academy webinar, and now I'm doing this. I feel like it was just bang, bang. I only had time to get a double Whopper. And I'm going to tell you what, did I ever tell you about Burger King and the double Whopper and how that came to be?
You did, but I can't remember. Now I want to know because it'll bug me the rest of the show if you don't tell me again.
All right, so you got to remember Burger King was the first to introduce the dollar menu, right?
Hmm.
So the dollar menus, it's, first of all, you got to look at it. They call themselves the home of the Whopper, right? And it's just like any other restaurant where they want you to buy certain products. Like if you ever look at a menu with a more critical eye than just, hey, what do they got here? You'll notice that some items are in like little boxes, or it might have a star next to it and says, we're famous for this, or, we're our chef special. Well, those are the items they want you to buy because they have the most gross profit.
Ah,
right?
interesting.
Yeah. So it's got the highest margins on it. Well, that's kind of how the Whopper is inside Burger King. So when they introduced the dollar menu, they put on a sandwich called the Whopper Junior. Right? Remember that? First quarter, they take a bath, an absolute bath in gross profit and sales. Why? Guys like me would walk in and go, Whopper, $3.63. Whopper Junior, $1. I'll take two Whopper Juniors. There you go. Yeah, 2 or 3. Yeah. So, and you're getting $2 or $3 as opposed to $3.63, right? Mm-hmm. Sales just tanked. Well, they go, we got to fix that. And most people think, well, that's when they added the value menu. No, they were already doing combos and stuff like that. Not the value menu, combos. All they did was take the same ingredients for the Whopper. Bun, patty, garden stuff, those type of things. And they said, let's make a third option. And it's called the Goldilocks theory of business, right? And a lot of accountants right now are trying to use this type of pricing. They call it value pricing. But it's really just introducing a third option. And they called it the double Whopper, like the one I bought today. Matter of fact, they don't care if you buy it. I'm probably the only guy that's ever bought one. But they want you to have this experience. They want you to walk in, look at the menu board and go, Whopper Junior, that seems too small. Double Whopper, that's a lot. I'll take the Whopper. All they did was show the third option, and they sold more Whoppers the very next quarter.
Oh, wow. Unreal.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
That is super interesting. Super cool.
Yeah, totally.
That could have been our topic. It totally could have been our topic, as the story of the Whopper and how you can. That's really, really, really pretty fascinating. So
I feel like
now I'm stuck in like, how do we? You might have, but I it was still a surprise to me when you said the Whopper. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that one, but I actually think I was thinking of a different story because I don't remember that one, and that's super interesting. So now we got to figure out how to segue to procrastination but that was, that's
part of it. That's part of it. We haven't really started talking about the episode yet.
We don't procrastinate the entire show. Like what other thing?
I think that's funny. See, but only you and I would get it. You remember when we did the A/B test?
Yeah, nobody else.
That was the fun. Oh man, one person gave us an angry face on Facebook for the A/B test. Right. Yeah. We even spent a small budget, like I don't know what it was, $10 or $15, saying take our test, take the Mike and Blaine's A/B test. You remember that? All right, so if you didn't see this, you could probably the thing's still on our Facebook page, but if you go there, it's just a picture of a blue box and I think a red box, wasn't it? Blue and red.
Yeah. Yeah,
and one box had an A in it and one box had a B in it. And when you clicked it, it sent you to our page to subscribe to the podcast.
Yeah, it was just an A/B test with no, we weren't really comparing anything. So it was we thought it was funny. I don't think anyone else did. But.
Oh, that lady was so mad at us. She goes, well, it's just to see who would pick A and who would pick B.
Yeah, exactly.
But they were expecting different results. I'm saying that's some of the dumb stuff we've done on this show so far. It's got to be, right? It's got to be some of the dumbest things we've done. That's probably the dumbest.
That was probably, but it was fun.
Yeah, the second dumbest thing we did is when we met for the first time. Now for those of you who have never heard this show before, we did it for almost 2 seasons, and we'd never met in person.
Yep. Yeah.
Is that crazy? It's just craziness.
Yeah, and it was so cool when we finally got together and here in Scottsdale, And I think the first words out of your mouth was, I was schmedium, if I remember right.
Well, because you only see people on video. You're like, going, oh, I thought you was a bigger guy. I said, you're like a schmedium guy.
I'm just average height, average build. Yep.
What's funny is I walk around the college campus. It's gotta be kids. It's gotta be maybe it's the Dino chicken nuggets or whatever the hell they're feeding kids. Right? I feel small. I feel like a little person walking around campus. I mean, all these folks gotta be 6'2". Even the girls are 6 foot tall. Even the girls. I'm like going, and I'm 6 foot tall and feel small. Girl walks by me and I'm looking up to her. I'm like going, it's the craziest feeling in the world to be on a college campus and feel small.
Yeah, times have changed.
It is Texas, though. Yeah. It is Texas, so. Yeah, do you think we should talk about the topic?
I don't know. It's like this procrastinating around it it's kind of fun. But no, I think we should dive into it, though, because it is if you own a business, it is a really sort of dangerous thing to procrastinate. And especially where there's an intersection for me between procrastination and prioritization. So there's times where, are you procrastinating, or have you it's just not a priority, and you have to prioritize. So sometimes it isn't just go down the list and it's next. It's like, no, is it important? Is it essential? Or can it be done later? And the tricky part maybe sometimes is to determine, are you being smart and prioritizing, or are you just procrastinating? You're going to get bit in the ass one of these days by not doing what you got to do.
Yeah, well, here's what happens to me. If I'm super busy, nothing phases me. Like, it just comes in. I'm just knocking them out of the park. Bam, bam. Right and left, just keeping up with everything. I'm on top of every detail, every conversation, every task.
Yeah.
If I take a break and I'm sitting around kind of doing nothing, everything bothers me. Like going, oh man, I don't want to do that. It's like in my head, like, oh, I don't want to start. And sometimes I don't want to start something but it's that weird thing where there's inertia behind both. When you're really busy, you can stay busy because it just pulls you through.
Yeah.
When you're not busy, when you're just kind of goofing off, well, you don't want it. You don't want to do anything. The inertia goes the other way. The energy leaves the room.
Well, I noticed that literally just this past weekend, because it was a long weekend. We had Friday off. I don't know if everyone gets Friday off down here, but in Canada, Friday's a day off, Good Friday. So took the day off. And the weekend before, I was still like, I was sprinting, just getting shit done, just going right up to the weekend. And then the weekend hit, and I'm just like, I was still doing stuff. We'd be out in the weekend, we'd get home, and I was back in, and I was still doing stuff and getting stuff done over the weekend. I'm just like flying. And then we got to Friday, and this past last week, I was just going. And I'm like, I'm going to do just like last weekend, we'll be out, we'll go do some stuff, and then I'll come home, and I'm still going to get stuff done. And that first day just kind of relaxed and slowed down, didn't get nearly as much done as I wanted to. And by Monday morning, it was like getting the flywheel going again. I'm like, man, I just like I said, I had so much momentum, and I was just flying. And yesterday just felt like I got stuff done, but it was like just painful. And then by today, I'm like, got my pace again. But it's just that little bit of that break, and I just lost all my momentum.
Yeah, it's so weird how that happens. I mean, because and when you get to the point where you're like, oh, man, I just don't feel like it. I don't want to do it. That's when it piles up. Right? Because what you have to do doesn't stop. Right? Nope. It's like, I feel like going. I love Lucy on the chocolate machine sometimes, right? It like keeps coming. You're like going. And if you take a break and you step back away from the conveyor belt, it's just going to keep coming. You have to stay in line. You have to stay up to the line. You have to take the pieces as they come down the pipe. If not, that's when my worst feeling in the world is when somebody says, oh, hey, I thought you were going to get this to me by Tuesday. right? Like I had made a
Yeah.
promise and I forgot. I didn't forget. I
Yeah.
just wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I hate that feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's easy when you like, I don't know about you, but like I have a big notepad and it's like, it's always beside my desk and it's just got this list of stuff that I got to get done. I put on a new date every day or two, and I rewrite them because it starts. I take notes over top. It gets so messy I can't read. But rewriting them also makes me go over each point again and go, got to do this. Geez, got to do that, and it refreshes my memory. And then sometimes I'll put a little star beside it. Prioritize this. So I've tried all the electronic to-do lists and this, that, and the other, and you know what? It just doesn't work like a piece of paper and a pen.
I was going to ask you, does this show our age? Right.
It probably does. Yeah, probably does.
The classroom. I remember I teach on college classroom right now. I almost never see somebody with a pen. They're all sitting there with a laptop.
Yeah, yeah. Playing
And,
whatever Civilization or whatever you're playing.
All right, so that's actually a good game, and it's been around a long time. I think this is like I got version 4, and then I don't think they made a 5 or more, but
Yeah,
it's a great game. Civilization. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, it's like Sid Meier's Civilization. I mean, first of all, that's ballsy. Put your name on it, like, oh, this is Sid Meier's Civilization. But I guess I wouldn't know his name.
Oscar Mayer. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. I wouldn't know his name if it wouldn't went on the game. The game is awesome though. It starts off. You get like a dude. They call them settlers, and they go, "Where are you gonna set up?" And you set up your town. It's like a what's that called? Terraformed landscape. So it's got mountains, it's got lakes, and every map is different. Every time you play, it's a different game. That's like when I play Call of Duty and all that. It's the same map, same things. You go to the same places. Not this. Every game is different. Not one. I haven't played one of them that's similar. Mm-hmm. But you go there and you set up your town. So then the settler goes away. But then you got to protect the town. Then you got to get a builder to build more stuff. And then people attack you. Barbarians attack you. Other players attack you. You're like, it's constant. It's like the most stressful thing I've ever done. Because it's like constantly problems happening. I'm like, shit, there's no way I could be president of the United States or any of these places. Like, if this is what it's like, every minute's a problem.
That sounds like work to me, man. Like it's just.
Why do you think I stayed up till 4:00 in the morning? If it's work, I would have went to bed at 10:30. This felt like a job. I'm like, I'm letting these characters down if I leave them here in this state. Yeah, there was a major drought, for crying out loud. There's a drought. They don't have farms. Nobody's got food right now.
Oh man, that's too stressful. I think I'll stick with light stuff.
That was pretty dumb. I mean, all right. So, and Courtney got that game, The Sims, I don't know, a month or so ago, and I don't understand it. I just don't understand the game, The Sims. I'm like, wait a second, you're pretending to do the dishes and shit? Hey, when the stepdaughter played it, I'm like, we got real dishes in there. You can do that for real. You don't got to watch it on TV. You can just go do it.
That sounds like a pretty bizarre game to me.
Yeah, I mean, these characters. I'm not going. Is she going to the bathroom? Like they put them in the bathroom to go to the bathroom, and if you don't do that every so often, they get all constipated and they get all the characters do in the game. Yeah, and then they'll take a shower and they'll get sick because they didn't go to the bathroom. Like going, this is the most crazy, ludicrous game. Like going, you're pretending to be a real person. Guess what? You're a real person.
Yeah, and doing the most boring stuff too.
Yeah, it's
like
strange. Then she went outside and she was like flirting with other dudes. I'm like, well, how'd you pick that dude over the other dude? like when she's flirting with him, you're like, but they don't say words. They just go, like, well, how do you know what they said? Did it work? Because that looked like a good pickup line. What did he say to you?
AI pickup lines. Ask Chad.
Yeah, ask Chelsea. Ask Chelsea.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of asking people things, tell me about Dry Run.
Odd week.
135, your odd week, oddball.
Odd week. Yeah. Nice little segue there. Well, yeah, no, I'll dive in. So this week I'm on to talk about dry run a little bit. And if you are looking for a way to, if you're looking for a way, everybody needs to understand what's happening in their cash flow. They have to understand what's happening in their sales pipeline. They have to understand what's happening in their business. And if you're just looking at yesterday, you're going to be in big trouble. You have to be able to look forward and understand where you're headed. That will not only save you a bunch of money, it'll make you a bunch of money. And that's what we do at Dry Run. So we can connect to your accounting software and pull your data in, or you can just build models right out of the box in Dry Run. But you can figure out exactly where your cash flow is headed, where your finances are headed, and start modeling scenarios out to figure out every what if under the sun. So come and visit us at dryrun.com, and we'd love to show you what we got cooking.
I've got to tell you, if there's one thing you cannot procrastinate on, it's your cash flow.
Oh, no.
It is like, just in your book, it is like the bus that's coming down the road, and it's coming whether you like it or not.
Yep.
Make sure you see it. Make sure you can avoid it. Make sure you plan for it, because that's what's important in your life, in your business, is your cash flow.
Yeah, absolutely.
So cool, man. So have we really talked about procrastination? Maybe a little bit. I mean, then we got into video games. We got back. So
yeah, there's a lot of BS, but it feels like a lot of procrastination, a lot of BS this week. But it's
see, I think people are going to think we're doing it on purpose, because the whole point of the episode is procrastination. They're going to think we're procrastinating and talk about it.
Yeah, that's what's been going on. But we can we've both been around for a lot of years, and we've seen what procrastination can do in a business, right? So it's the worst case of procrastination you've seen in a business.
Well, okay, so that's a good question, right? Because it makes me think about it. The worst case of procrastination I think I've seen.
I think I know what you're going to say. I actually do think I know what you're going to say.
Oh, what do you think it is?
I think you're going to bring up Kodak.
Yeah, Kodak's a good one. I was actually going to bring up Mid Rivers Bar and Grill in St. Peters, Missouri.
All right, well, let's go there, and then we'll talk about Kodak.
Because that's a new one. I've already talked about Kodak, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right, so in St. Peters, I owned a bar called Church Street. I named it Church Street, right? It was somebody's last name before I bought it, and that was the first bar I bought. Named it Church Street. My biggest competitor was a block away. Is that right? Well, yeah, about a block away, called Mid Rivers Bar and Grill. These things are like brother and sister bars. I mean, you've been there probably, where you walk into one, you're like, hey, this feels really similar to the other one, right? Because when you went in, it's like almost the same people. It's like they go back and forth, right? Yep. It's like you share customers. Anyway, this guy knew for months, year and a half, that there was going to be a change in ownership into the space. He was in a strip mall, and he was offered a couple different packages to move. They was going to help him move his bar and all that somewhere else, and he just kind of held on and held on and held on, thinking it would go away. It didn't go away. He went away, and a CVS came in. Right where he was, there's a CVS that came in, where they told him time after time. I mean, all of us knew it. Like, no, dude, they're going to tear that building down. That's an old, nasty building. They're going to tear it down and make something new there. And because it was catty corner from a grocery store, CVS and Walgreens always do stuff like that. It's in that area where people are getting it. Well, I can go to the grocery store and pick up my prescriptions, go home. Yeah, lost his entire business. Because he wouldn't make a decision.
Yeah.
And by the time he tried to make a decision, it was too late. They took it off the table. Yeah. They'd already made plans around him.
Yeah. And that's the tricky part, is maybe not in this case, but a lot of cases, it's in hindsight where you really truly understand whether you made the right decision or not, right? Because sometimes we talked a bit about it before, where you when do you accelerate, when do you jump, when do you move fast, and when do you slow down and go, well, hold on, We got to do it right. We got to slow down. We got to validate this. We got to make sure it's right. Man, it's a delicate art. And that's again, it comes back to, when is it procrastination and when is it waiting? Like, when is it right to wait?
I think his is procrastination. I think he just got back into the daily grind. And he might have actually got a little check in the end of it. But
Yeah.
the thing is, I think if he would have not waited, but made a decision to move, they would have got him set up in one of the other landlord's buildings in a similar area, right? So it was like one of those things where, and maybe he wanted out, right? Because I'm going to tell you, if you've ever run a bar, it's about a 3-year burnout period. And then at 3 years, you either quit or you just become a lifer, right? It seems like. Now I ended up going 7 years. 7 years, and that was 3 years too long. I should have got out sooner than that. And not because of the money. It wasn't about the money, it's the people. It's like dealing with people. You're like going, it's felt like I was having the same conversations over and over and over again, or worried about the same thing. Somebody asked me yesterday during a coaching call, they said, what do you think bar owners worry about? And I'm like going, well, let's set cash flow aside, right? Because it's always kind of an issue.
Yeah.
They worry about other people. They worry about being stole from. They're worried about being overserved and getting suspended or losing your liquor license and really hurting the business. They worry about a big brawl breaking out and breaking all their stuff and somebody getting hurt or worse, killed, right? They worry about those things. Because the other stuff is easy. I mean, popping a beer top and giving it to you, making a hamburger and giving it to you, that's easy stuff. Yeah. Where your risk is in the actions of others.
Mm-hmm. And interesting when you put it in that context, even talking about, again, like, you procrastinate on things that sometimes should be priorities. And, what it brings up to me is that there are things that are easy to procrastinate on or to push back because they don't seem necessarily like a priority at the time. But the risk could be low, but the consequences could be enormous. Or the win could be enormous, right? And so when you're talking about some of the things like a sort of a safety issue, or like, what if a brawl breaks out, and maybe you see like there's something building here. These two groups are in there every Friday night, and they don't like each other, and it'll be okay, and you wait, but then the risk of something really big happening, it might be low, but the consequences can be massive. And I can see that in almost any business where it's easy to push something back and procrastinate because, it's very unlikely. It's 1 in 1,000, 1 in a million. No, it's probably 1 in 100 or 1 in 200, but the consequences could be huge. And I think that's where sometimes business owners don't take that into account, the opportunity of the consequence, because they see it as like a 10% chance or whatever.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, like, I got suspended once and they made me close down for 3 days, right? And I think I got set up. So weird how it happened. All right, so, I was a former state trooper, and I don't think the local police department liked that. Former state trooper running a bar in their own town, right? And I don't blame them. So it was kind of early on, and I just know the law, right? That's the other part, is that you can't bullshit me, right?
Yeah.
I just know the law. So if they come in and said something, I push back with the law. Right? Well, the law says I do this. Well, one night I went to dinner with a guy that was wanting us to invest in his. All right, it was called, forget what it is, but there were these faucets that had TV screens over the top of them, right? And they were in the MGM Grand in Vegas, but these faucets would play advertisements ads for the casinos, right? Ads. Yeah. So you're washing your hands, you see an ad like, "Hey, come to the play roulette, play craps," those type of things. And he wanted us to invest in these faucets. And so I'm with my attorney and I'm with the guy that owns the faucet company. And we went out to dinner and my wife was there. And we came back through at closing time. Now, the rule is that at closing time, you got to have all patrons out of the building and no alcohol open at all inside, right? That's Missouri law.
Mm-hmm.
That's where a lot of times, have you ever heard of bar time? Where bar time is different than real time? All right. All right. Have you ever been around a place around closing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you know how they do last call?
Yep.
Right? Well, if you ever watch, some bars will set their clocks inside the bar to 10 or 15 minutes faster than what it actually is.
Oh,
right?
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So watch that, right? And the reason I do that is that, when people are starting to drink and they lose track of time, they lose track of, what's going on around them. And they'll look up and go, oh yeah, I guess it is 1:30 and it's actually 1:15, right? But rather than argue with people and not meet the deadline, because they're very strict on 1:30, no patrons, no open alcohol. So that's why you'll see this wait staff go running around grabbing all the stuff, pouring the beers out, taking it from you even after a certain amount of time, and then pushing you out the door. Well, because you get fined or you get suspended. I came in, there's a police officer sitting in front of the front door. It is 5 minutes till close. So think 1:25. Got 5 minutes. Yep. And he and I are talking because he's at the front door, and I thought that was weird. I said, hey, anything happened? He goes, no, nothing happened. I said, okay, well, if you want to come in, check things out, you can. He came in. He's talking to me. My attorney's in there. The guy that I'm working with the investments in there. And he says that I'm in violation of law. I'm like, wait a second. We just walked in with you. we just walked in with you. Yeah. So that turned to a thing. I'm like, wait a second. Well, they can leave. They go, no. It's because we talked for a minute inside the building. It was like he waited till after close to say that. I'm going, well, why can't they just leave now? We were just all talking, and my attorney's here.
Yeah.
Anyway, because I argued, 4 more cops came in, almost like within seconds. I'm like going, what the hell happened? They made me sit on the pool table, and they were sitting there just grilling me about this. I'm like going, dude, I haven't even been here all night. I said, I walked in. He saw me get out of the car and walk in by him, and I was talking to him in the parking lot, and I invited him in. Yeah. So they issue me a summons. Oh, I'm pissed. The guy that's writing it, he's a rookie, right? He's a rookie. I said, you guys know I was a former state trooper. I said, you're going to treat me like this? He said, and then you're going to have a rookie? I said, you should know better than that. There's some discretion that, can be done. If we all walked in together, that means we're having a conversation. It's not like we were in here partying and staying after hours. Now, give me a ticket. I took the ticket and threw it in the trash. Oh, my attorney was upset at me. Because I also didn't know I was being recorded when I was running my mouth and tearing up tickets. Yeah. So that's how you get 3 days suspension from the Missouri State Liquor Control Board. Is talk that kind of shit.
That sounds like old Hazard County stuff right there, man. There's some bullshit going on.
So here was something cool that happened. They let me pick the 3 days. So I picked Memorial Day, right? I picked Memorial Day because I wasn't going to be open anyway because I was going out of town. I picked the Sunday before Memorial Day because I didn't have a Sunday liquor license at the time, so we were closed anyway. But I was going to be suspended, because I'm like going, hey, that's a business day. You didn't say I had to have a license that I was going to be open. You just had to close for 3 business days.
Yeah.
So I closed the Sunday and the Monday, and then I only had to give up a Tuesday.
Nice.
And I kept the Friday, Saturday open.
Yeah. Nice.
So I didn't
that's
lose
super
that much
sketchy.
money.
That's super sketchy.
That's what I'm saying. I've never felt set up before, but that felt set up.
That sounds set up and down. And how did they even those people weren't patrons. They didn't buy from you. They didn't spend any money. It's just the whole thing is sketchy.
The
Like
attorney
your lawyer and yeah.
We walked in together, and the only reason he walked in because the cop was there. The attorney came with me, and then the other guy, he wasn't just going to hang out. He didn't know any difference. He was from Arizona. And what I should have done, well, he didn't know what was going on. What I should have done was say, "Hey, listen, I might have to have you, to leave." I should have asked him to leave. The attorney would have probably been okay, but it was still one of the violators that they said that I allowed him to be in there after hours. But I'm like going, I think they were going to go in anyway, even if I weren't there, just to do a check. And I think because I was there, they were screwing with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I think if I wouldn't have went there, because I wasn't there, I think if I wouldn't have been there, they would have walked in, saw my employees were doing the right thing, and left.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think because I was there, they messed with me.
Something super sketchy. Yeah. And that's it's too often what small business has to deal with, which is really.
I didn't do myself any favors that night. I'm telling you. And
no,
I mean, I know why they brought 4 other cops, because I'm kind of mouthy, a little mouthy. I could be violent if I have to as well. You know, one of the most dangerous people that you have to deal with as a cop is a former cop. Is that weird?
Interesting. Yeah.
Because the former cop knows everything you're going to do.
Yeah.
And if he's guilty, if he's done something bad, if he's armed, he might make your life really bad really fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. As a police officer. I mean,
yeah.
Scary dealing with former police officers when you're a police officer.
Yeah. Glad you're not a cop anymore, man.
Oh, dude, that is a young man's game. That is not a 50-year-old's game at all. That's a 20-year-old's game. I mean, and I don't have the temperament for it. I like a nice, simple life. I don't like to argue. Don't like to, I like to talk shit still. I'll talk some shit, but I don't like to.
We're good at that.
I don't like the constant conflict. I don't like it.
Yeah. 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 I think this is the first episode we've done over 50, probably over 70% BS, which is probably a new record for.
What was our topic again? Do you think we should talk about the topic?
No, it's okay. We this beer business and BS, and it just a little bit swung the other direction this time, but that's all right. It's all right. There's some interesting stuff though. Like that's the thing. That's what I love about this is that was an interesting story. And there's always something to learn from all of that too, right? So no, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Anyway, so it would have only been better if I could have put a fiddle hopper in that cop's pocket.
Beautiful. Sneaking that in. Oh, so here's a bit of procrastination because I think we've talked about putting a Fiddle Hopper T-shirt on the store for weeks, and I just keep forgetting, and I don't even know how to get to that. So, yeah.
Well, you're supposed to come up with some type of design for it.
Yeah, I know. I've been procrastinating.
I bet there are people lined up on the internets waiting for us to just drop that.
Just waiting. And, SEO there. I wonder how many searches you have every month of a Fiddle Hopper T-shirt.
I'm sure we could figure that out, but
probably not too
so
bad.
what tell me about who the Edmonton Oilers right now. What's going on there? We'll kind of wrap this up with some super BS.
Some super BS. Man, the team is completely unpredictable. They started the year with an epic stretch of losing where they couldn't win anything. They fired their coach, and then they came back and won 16 in a row and missed the league record by one game. And they won something like, it wasn't just 16 in a row, it was something like 23 of 25 or something. And now they've actually been the best team in hockey since I think that point when they started that streak. They've still been playing really pretty good, but they've been a little up and down the last few weeks here, where they'll lose a couple in a row and look terrible, and then they'll just destroy teams for 3. And so we'll see. I think they've got a legit chance at the Stanley Cup this year, but I also think they could get bumped in the first round because it depends which team shows up So we'll find out.
Cool. Well, so I've got one big piece of BS, but it's important. I'm very proud of Courtney right now. She is involved in the largest product launch of her career. Apparently, all right. So a new brand, as a matter of fact. Apparently, a guy named Travis Scott. Are you familiar with him? Musician, rapper.
Oh, I've heard the name. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just on like Saturday Night Live the other night too. So I mean, I see him around once in a while. But he has created a clothing line called Cactus Jack, and you can only get it at college bookstores. The whole campaign is called Jack Goes Back to college or something like that. So this Cactus Jack. So in college bookstores, because Travis Scott, I guess he used to date like one of the Jenners, like Kylie or Kendall or one of those genders. I mean, so you're talking big money guys, and he's friends with this guy named Mark Rupin. He's the CEO, a billionaire of Fanatics. You know, Fanatics lids, those stores. Yeah. Well, they're pushing this whole thing, right? And they're putting it in, I think, only 12 colleges across the country. And LSU's one. I think Texas is one. USC's one. I don't know what the others. I think Michigan maybe. But there's just several colleges doing it. But she's getting to see a nationwide rollout of this and how the press releases come out and how the social media gets rolled out and the gift boxes and the celebrities that are involved. It is an amazing opportunity for her. To just see not just retail, not just regional management. This is strategic planning of a product launch on the biggest scale I've ever seen personally.
Yeah. Amazing.
So some of the stuff she's working with, I'm like, oh my God, the level of planning I've done looks like a kindergartner's, pasta noodle, picture compared to what these Picassos are putting together. I'm like going, man, when this is over and you can share it, I'd like for you to share it with me just because I want to study it and learn more about how a large marketing PR firm puts together a launch like that. Now, I'd never have the money to do it.
It's interesting.
There's no way, but it'd be interesting to see how it rolls out and what the planning stages are.
Yeah. Oh, and the thing is, there's always learnings in there. Like you might never do anything that big, but there's such good learnings because you're seeing what the pros do. You're seeing what the big operations do. And it's, that's a piece of advice I'd heard before is run your business like a big business, no matter what size. Run it like big business. And it helps in a lot of ways.
All right. So the episode on procrastination is coming to an end. I mean, I'm not going to procrastinate the end. We'll just end it. But 135, if you can't tell, this was meant to be in fun. It was supposed to be April Fool's. It was meant to be in jest. It was meant to be fun for us and kind of pulling you along with it. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you thought it was both frustrating and comical and, a little entertaining as well. So what do you got to add there at the end?
Well, make sure to subscribe because most of our episodes are a little bit more meaty than this one. Go and check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to your favorite podcast network. Make sure you don't miss an episode and make sure you buy us a beer. We're always looking for more beer sponsors.
There you go. Hey, take care, man. We'll see you.
All right.
See you Thursday.
Check out their website at mikeandblaine.com. Then subscribe to the podcast and buy these guys a beer.